the church went silent. Not because I was abandoned, but because when the billionaire I barely knew took my fiancé's place at the altar, he lifted my veil, looked me in the eyes, and whispered another woman's name. I remember that morning in painful detail, like my mind refused to let me forget a single second of it. The air smelled faintly of white roses and polished wood. Everything was calm, almost too calm, like the world had paused just for me. I stood in front of the mirror in the bridal room, staring at my reflection for longer than necessary. My dress fit perfectly. A lace rested gently against my shoulders, and the soft fabric flowed down like something out of a dream. My makeup artist had just left, and my bridesmaids were busy laughing quietly in the corner, fixing their dresses, adjusting their heels. "You look beautiful, Ilara," my best friend whispered behind me. Beautiful. I repeated that word in my mind, trying to let it settle. Because something inside me didn't feel beautiful. It felt uneasy. I ignored it. Just nerves, I told myself quietly. Every bride gets nervous. That's what everyone says. But nerves aren't supposed to feel like this. They aren't supposed to feel like something is about to go terribly wrong. I picked up my bouquet slowly, adjusting my grip around the stems. My hands were trembling slightly, and I laughed it off when my bridesmaid noticed. "You're shaking," she teased. "Of course I am," I replied softly. "I'm about to get married." But deep down, I knew that wasn't it. Then my phone vibrated. A small, simple vibration. So small, yet it felt like it echoed through my entire body. I hesitated. For a moment, I almost ignored it. But something pushed me to check. Something I wish I had ignored. I picked up my phone, unlocked it, and saw his name. Ryan. A small smile almost formed on my lips. Maybe he was sending something sweet, something reassuring. But when I opened the message, everything inside me went cold. "I can't do this. I'm sorry." That was it. No explanation. No "I love you." No attempt to soften the blow. Just 8 words that destroyed everything. I blinked, staring at the screen, waiting for another message. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe... Nothing. No second message came. My chest tightened, and suddenly it felt like the air in the room had disappeared. "Ilara?" My father's voice came from behind me. I didn't turn. I couldn't. Because if I did, it would become real. "What's wrong?" he asked again, more gently this time. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came out. Because at that exact moment, the music started. The signal. The doors were opening. And I was expected to walk down that aisle, toward a man who had just told me he wasn't coming. I don't remember deciding to walk. My body just moved. Like I was no longer in control of it. My father gently held my arm, guiding me forward, unaware of the storm inside me. The doors opened wide, and the soft glow of the church lights spilled over us. And then, all eyes turned to me, hundreds of them, smiling at first, expectant, warm. But as I took my first step, something shifted. I could feel it. That invisible moment when people start to notice something is wrong. The aisle stretched endlessly in front of me. Each step felt heavier than the last. My heels echoed softly against the polished floor, the sound almost too loud in the silence that was slowly forming. Then came the whispers. At first, they were faint, barely noticeable. Is he not here yet? Why is she alone? Wait, where's the groom? My heart started racing. I kept walking. I didn't stop. Because stopping meant admitting the truth. And I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. Not in front of everyone. Halfway down the aisle, I looked up. And that's when it hit me fully. The altar was empty. Completely empty. No Ryan. No nervous smile. No reassuring glance. Nothing. Just absence. A loud, undeniable absence. The whispers grew louder. Oh my God! Did he leave her? This is so embarrassing. Every word felt like a blade, cutting deeper with each step. By the time I reached the front, I knew. He wasn't coming. My father's grip tightened slightly on my arm. "Elara," he whispered, his voice filled with concern now. But I couldn't respond, because I could feel it. The humiliation, the pity, the judgment. All of it pressing down on me at once. I stood there, frozen. A bride without a groom. A perfect moment turned into a public disaster. I wanted to run. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to wake up from whatever nightmare this was. And just when it felt like I couldn't take another second, the church doors opened again. The sound of the doors echoed through the church, louder than anything else in that moment. And for a second, everything stopped. Even the whispers, even my breathing. Everyone turned. Slowly. Curiously. And then I saw him. Sebastian Hale. He didn't rush. He didn't hesitate. He walked in like he had been expected all along. Tall, composed, unshaken by the tension filling the room. His presence alone was enough to silence everything. I had seen him before, of course. Family events, occasional visits. But he was never someone you could truly approach. He existed at a distance, untouchable, unreadable. And yet now, he was walking straight toward me. My heart started beating faster, not from fear, but from something I couldn't quite name. Confusion, shock, something deeper. He didn't look at anyone else, not the guests, not the priest, only me. Step by step, he closed the distance between us until he stood right in front of me. Close enough that I could see the sharp focus in his eyes. Close enough that I could feel the calm strength in his presence. "Sebastian," I whispered, my voice barely steady. "What are you doing?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he studied my face for a brief second, like he was confirming something. Then finally, he spoke. "Ending this the right way." My breath caught. Before I could react, he turned slightly toward the priest. "Continue the ceremony." The reaction was instant. Gasps, murmurs, shock rippling through the crowd. "This isn't funny," I said quietly, my voice trembling now. "You can't just—" He leaned closer, just enough so only I could hear him. "You don't deserve this." The words hit differently. Not loud, not dramatic, but heavy. Real. My throat tightened. "Then what do you think this is?" I asked softly. His answer came without hesitation. "Marry me." And just like that, the world shifted for a moment. I couldn't hear anything. Not the whispers, not the music, not even my own heartbeat. All I could see was him, standing in front of me like this wasn't madness, like this wasn't the most impossible thing he could have asked. "Marry me." The words echoed in my mind over and over again. I should have said no. I should have walked away. But then I looked around, at the guests, at the pity in their eyes, at the quiet judgment already forming on their lips. The girl who got left at the altar. That was going to be me. And something inside me refused to accept that. Slowly, I lifted my gaze back to Sebastian. "Why would you do this?" I whispered. His expression didn't change. "Because I can," he said simply. Then, softer, "And because you need a way out." My chest tightened. He wasn't wrong. But this was insane. "Are you going to regret this?" I asked. He held my gaze steadily. "No." That single word settled something inside me. Not completely, but enough. I took a small breath. Okay. The word left my lips before I could stop it. And just like that, everything changed. The ceremony resumed, but nothing felt real anymore. The priest spoke, but his voice sounded distant, like it was coming from another room. My hands were still trembling when Sebastian took them in his. His grip was warm, steady, grounding. "Relax," he murmured quietly, just for me. "I'm trying," I whispered back, barely moving my lips. Somehow that small exchange made it feel less terrifying. The vows began. Promises I hadn't prepared. Words I never thought I would say to him. And yet, I said them. Every single one. Then it was his turn. His voice was calm, controlled, but there was something underneath it. Something deeper. Something real. And when it was time, he reached up slowly and lifted my veil. Our eyes met, and for a second, everything else disappeared. The room, the people, the chaos, all gone. It was just him, and the way he was looking at me. Like I mattered, like I had always mattered. Then he whispered, "I've been waiting for you, Clara." My heart stopped. Clara? The name hit me like a quiet shock. I opened my mouth to speak, but the priest continued. "And now you may seal your vows." And before I could question it, he leaned in and kissed me. Married life didn't feel the way I expected it to. Not even close. There was no awkwardness, no forced conversations, no tension in the way most people would imagine. Instead, there was silence. Careful, controlled silence. Sebastian made sure I lacked nothing. Everything I needed appeared before I even asked. Clothes, food, comfort. Even small things, like the way my coffee was always made exactly how I liked it. I never told him how. He just knew. But despite all that, he never touched me. Not once. Not casually. Not accidentally. At night, we shared the same room, the same bed. But there was always space between us. A quiet, respectful distance. Like he was afraid of crossing a line. Or maybe afraid of something else. One night I turned to him, unable to keep it in anymore. "Why won't you touch me?" The question came out softer than I expected. He didn't answer immediately, and when he did, his voice was low. "Because I don't want you to feel like you owe me anything." That answer stayed with me longer than I expected. The memory didn't come back all at once. It came in pieces, fragments, feelings. A night I had tried to forget. Rain, cold air, footsteps behind me. Then, impact, a body crashing into mine. I remembered the weight, the smell of blood, the panic that took over me instantly. "Hey, stay with me," I had said, trying to hold him up. He was barely conscious, barely breathing. People walked past. No one stopped. No one helped. So I did. I called for help, pressed my hands against his wound, trying to stop the bleeding. "You're not dying tonight," I whispered. I remember that clearly. The way his fingers weakly held onto mine, like he didn't want to let go. "Your name," he had murmured. And I hesitated. I didn't want to be involved, didn't want questions, didn't want trouble. So I gave him a name that wasn't mine. "Clara." The ambulance came. They took him away, and I left. I didn't even look back. I didn't know if he lived. I didn't know who he was. Until now, I looked for you. Sebastian's voice broke the silence. Not loud, not dramatic, but honest. "I didn't stop looking," he continued, "even when I had nothing to go on." I turned to him slowly. Why? The question felt heavier than I expected. He met my eyes. "Because you were the only person who stayed." My chest tightened. He told me everything. How he woke up alone. How no one knew who Clara was. How that one moment stayed with him for years. "I thought I imagined you at some point," he admitted softly. "And then I saw you again." My breath caught. "With Ryan," he added. Silence filled the space between us. "I couldn't take you from him," he said. "So I let you go." "And now?" I asked quietly. His answer came without hesitation. "Now I'm not letting you go again." The invitation arrived 3 days before the event. A formal corporate gala, one of the biggest of the year, hosted by Hale Enterprises. I stared at the card longer than I should have, my fingers tracing the embossed gold letters like they held answers I wasn't ready for. "You don't have to go," Sebastian said from across the room, his voice calm as always. I looked up at him. "And hide?" I asked quietly. His gaze softened slightly. "They'll talk." "They already are," I replied. That settled it. I was going. The night of the event felt different. Not like the wedding, not like the chaos that followed. This time, I was walking in knowing exactly who I was. The venue was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers, soft golden lighting, quiet conversations blending with the sound of glasses clinking gently. Sebastian walked beside me, steady and composed, his presence grounding in a way I was slowly beginning to understand. As we stepped inside, heads turned. Not loudly, not dramatically, but enough. Whispers followed us. Not pity this time, something else. Curiosity, respect, power. I felt his hand lightly brush against mine, not holding, not claiming, just there. And somehow that small contact said more than anything else. "You okay?" he asked under his breath. I nodded. "I am." And for the first time, I meant it. We had barely made it halfway into the hall when it happened. A voice. Familiar. Unwanted. "Ilara?" My body froze before my mind could catch up. Slowly, I turned. And there he was. Ryan, standing just a few steps away, dressed perfectly, like nothing had ever happened, like he hadn't destroyed me in front of everyone. For a moment, neither of us spoke. His eyes searched my face, confusion turning quickly into disbelief. "You," he started, then his gaze shifted to Sebastian. And everything changed. His expression hardened instantly. "You married him?" His voice rose slightly, sharp with anger. You married my brother? The room around us didn't go silent, but it felt like it did. Like everything narrowed down to just this moment. I felt it. The old version of me, the one who would have panicked, the one who would have tried to explain. But she wasn't here anymore. I met his gaze calmly. You don't get to question me, I said, my voice steady. He let out a short, bitter laugh. Unbelievable. I leave for a little while and you… what? You replace me with him? Before I could respond, Sebastian stepped forward. Not aggressively, not loudly, but with a quiet authority that shifted everything. Careful, he said. Just one word, but it carried weight. Ryan scoffed, turning fully toward him now. Or what? He challenged. You think this is funny? Taking what's mine? Something in Sebastian's expression changed. Not anger, something colder. Nothing about her was ever yours, he said evenly. Ryan's jaw tightened. You think you've won? He snapped. You think marrying her gives you anything? That's when Sebastian did something unexpected. He didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He simply looked at him and spoke. You should check the board decisions from last week. Ryan frowned, confusion flashing across his face. What are you talking about? I watched it happen. The moment realization slowly started to form. The company, the shares, the control he thought he still had. Gone, transferred, signed away, protected. And now, connected to me. His expression shifted completely. What did you do? He demanded, his voice no longer steady. This time, I stepped forward. You walked away from everything, I said quietly. His eyes snapped to mine. I didn't think you meant… You didn't think at all, I interrupted gently. Silence stretched between us. Heavy. Final. You didn't lose me at the altar, Ryan, I continued, my voice calm but firm. You lost me the moment you decided I wasn't worth staying for. He didn't respond. Didn't argue. Because there was nothing left to say. I took a small step back, and without hesitation, I reached for Sebastian's hand. This time, he didn't hesitate either. His fingers closed around mine, steady and sure. And together, we turned away, leaving Ryan exactly where he chose to be, behind us. We didn't stop walking until the noise behind us disappeared. The night air felt cool against my skin as we stepped outside, quieter than everything we had just left behind. Sebastian opened the car door and I slid in slowly, adjusting my dress with steady hands. Not shaking, not breaking, just calm. He got in beside me and the door closed softly. For a moment, we said nothing. The car moved. City lights passed by in silence. I stared ahead, then finally spoke. I thought seeing him again would hurt. Sebastian turned slightly. But it didn't, he said. I shook my head. No. A small pause, then softer. I think I stopped loving him the moment he left. Silence settled again. But this time it felt light. His hand brushed mine. Gentle. Intentional. I looked at him. Say my name, I whispered. Ilara, he said. No hesitation, no mistake. Just me. I leaned closer. He met me halfway. The kiss was soft, simple, real. And in that moment, I knew I wasn't the girl who got left behind. I was the one who moved on. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And tell me in the comments, would you have forgiven him or walked away?